Alright, so unfortunately, well, it's actually been close to a month since I recorded the first two parts of this. I think I recorded them both on the same night, or maybe one day and then the next day, or something like that. But anyway, it does not seem possible to load my character from the second one. So I have my third one here, but then when I open up the second game, do I still have it open? No, I don't. Do 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 do. Where is it? Choice of games. Here we go, Forging a Kingdom. So when I start up Forging a Kingdom, here, begin playing, yes, show me the numbers, load a character. I have both my one from the Lost Heir and then Lost Heir 2, yet this one, when I try to load it in here, it says, oh look, it was created at the end of the game that I just currently opened it in. I hit play again, it just takes me back to this screen. I close out this one, and then when I come in here, I have no option of loading that character. It never saved, and that's the reason why I didn't start playing up like the next day. I was waiting for it to upload. Never did upload, so unfortunately our actual stats, the like 99 good and the 100 magic, we might not be able to carry that over, which is very unfortunate. So I don't know, let's try this one. Yeah, I mean, it's already been displayed, but whatever. Here. Oh, hey, here. Is this it? Oh my god. Okay, fine. Got it working. Continue the story without a summary because we just got screwed over. It was the end of the Demon War, crap like that. What's his face had issues. We met back up with Jess. All right, there's my there are all my skills. Arcana's only at 88, which is unfortunate, and Jess like is kind of okay with me. I think it's dumb you can't romance characters if you choose not to right away at the beginning. Like that option is just gone. All right. Jess's wordless cry fills the cold winter night as she huddles in an old blanket on the ground. She is shivering, both from cold and from the withdrawal of the poison that Selena had fed her. You are many miles from Tornassa, but even at this distance you can see the orange glow on the horizon behind you from the uncontrollable fires that are still ravaging the city. Zephyr, your warhorse, is asleep on the ground nearby. For 3 terrifying days and 3 sleepless nights, you've been running from the demon horde that Zuzak unleashed upon the capital city. Your supplies are running dangerously low, and you aren't sure how much farther you can go. Light a fire, knowing that Jess might not make it through the night without one. Don't light a fire, since the flames might alert the demons to our presence. So yeah, fuck it, we can take some demons. We'll light a fire. You gather the needed firewood, kindling, and tinder. Carefully you light a small fire within a shallow hole. The white snow on the ground around you reflects the orange glow more than you would have liked. You move Jess closer to the fire and feel her muscles relax as the fire begins to warm her body. The still of the night makes Jess's harsh breathing seem even louder. Your exhaustion makes your eyelids feel very heavy. Go to sleep, try to stay awake through the night. Let's sleep. Sleep takes you the moment you close your eyes. The night passes without incident. Your skill at building a small fire in the shallow hole is successful, since nobody seems to see your encampment that night. Nature +2. The sunrise in the east lights the sky with a myriad of oranges and reds. You wake up Jess and continue traveling. You know that your only hope is to put as much distance between you and Tornassa as possible. Once you're safe, you can think about the fate of your friends and come up with a plan to save the kingdom from Zuzak. Your thoughts go to your unborn child. You hope that the magical sphere protecting your baby is safe. Just leave me to die, Jess says pitifully from the ground as she fails in her attempts to get to her feet. No, Jess, we'll get through this together. Get to your feet. I need someone to watch my back until I find the others. That would be too easy. Get up. You're coming with me so you can pay for your crimes. We'll get through it. Your words motivate her to try again. She nods at your words with grim determination and slowly pulls herself back onto her feet. She staggers with each step, but at least she's moving again. Jess relationship +3. You and Jess return to the road and continue traveling. With only one mount, you are forced to travel at a very slow pace. You see a small village ahead of you. Redmond used to be a pleasant little community, but you can see demons crawling all over it. It reminds you of the first time you saw Dobton, except that these demons have no orders. They're among the first that Zuzak summoned to overtake the land. He brought tens of thousands of them into the world and gave them no purpose. This means that they're allowed to do as they wish. Unfortunately, you have no supplies, so you have no choice but to enter the town and try to find some food for your survival. I want you to hide here while I enter Redmond and try to find us some food. Stick close to me. This place looks dangerous. We'll keep her with me. All right. Jess nods at your words and shuffles along behind you as you walk with Zephyr, your warhorse, on the other side. Her eyes are red-rimmed and bleary as she looks around for any immediate threats. The streets of Redmond are empty except for the occasional demon. Many of the demons merely look at you with a bored expression. You can see that most of the houses and shops are boarded up. The doors of the buildings have deep claw marks gouged into them, including the general store, where a fat demon with a white belly is sitting. It looks up as you approach. Kill the demon with my blade, fire an arrow at the demon, push the demon, kick the fat demon, set the demon on fire, call for help. I mean, it's not attacking us. We could, just ask it to move politely, but whatever, let's set it on fire. Your fire washes over the demon, causing it to howl in pain. It runs down the street and rolls in the snow to extinguish with the fire. It then casts you a sour look before hobbling away. The door of the store opens, and 2 young men come outside. "Thank you for the assistance, my prince," a man says as he steps out the door between the 2 young men, obviously recognizing you. "I'm Ben. Come inside." Wait, what? Okay, the character's name happens to also be Ben. The man has bright red hair and short, cropped beard. He looks around the street at the other demons and then steps into the store, leaving the door open for you to follow. You and Jess follow him inside. One of the boys enters too, but the other one walks off down the street instead, casting a suspicious glance at you as he goes. The family of 4 look to have been living in the general store for the last couple of days. The shelves are nearly empty, but even so, you're encouraged to take only what you need. Take some holy water, stop looking at the equipment. Screw it, we'll take some holy water. Ben looks slightly embarrassed when you take the flask. Water blessed by Lucine or Oriel is usually only found in a temple. You know that it has no effect against demons, but you take it anyway. Gain the holy water. You take a few days' worth of food as well. The shopkeeper's wife brings you and Jess something fresh to eat. You sit back in the warmth of the fire and feel relaxed for the first time since you escaped from Selena's dungeons. A loud commotion outside wakes you from your daze. The door is suddenly thrown open, and you can see that a large crowd has gathered outside. Ben's sons stand among them, pointing into the house at Jess. Several of the citizens push their way in and grab her, dragging her out to the street before you can react. "It's the Red Wizard!" a tall man in an eye patch shouts. "Fetch a rope! She's going to hang for what she and Duchess Selena did to Daria." Say nothing and let them kill Jess. Stop, Jess is under my protection. Stop, Jess is my prisoner. Jess is under my protection. A hush falls over the crowd, although you can see that the man with the eye patch doesn't stop trying to rope into a noose and put it around Jess's neck. You can see demons watching from around the building's corners. The mob becomes more agitated. Jess relationship +3. "Anton!" Ben shouts to the man with an eye patch. "You can't lynch her without a trial. Open your eye, fool. This here is Prince Ben. Give the Red Wizard to him." All eyes turn to you when your identity is revealed. You can see the fear and anger in the mob's faces as they collectively decide what to do. Anton, their spokesman, decides for them. Sounds like the governor, honestly. He's only got one eye. It's the guy. "This demon infestation came from their war. Duchess Selena or Prince Bren, they're all responsible. They all deserve to swing." I don't mind swinging too much. I wouldn't want to do it on that swing at the edge of the world, that one that's up on the cliff. But I wouldn't mind going for a nice swing. The mob hovers over the brink of action for a moment, but when someone in the background throws a large rock which hits Ben in the head, the decision is made. As Ben collapses to the ground with blood pouring from the wound, Anton and the mob step towards you. You see a second noose get placed into Anton's hand. There are around 50 leering faces in the mob. The odds don't look good. I'm going to blast everything. Let's begin casting. They're probably going to apprehend me before that. Fuck it, let's say a prayer to Oriel. The angry men and women slowly surge forward. "Kindly step back, good sir," a strong voice says, and a fully armored body steps up beside you. It's Petra. Your childhood friend has her hand on the hilt of her morning star as she keeps an eye on Anton and the mob. You see Theo and Bran as well as a dozen heavily armed soldiers. The mob scatters quickly from the show of force. Your unborn child is safe. Your unborn child is safe," Theo says before you even have to ask. Several months later. Really, why do they make such a big deal about the unborn child and shit like that? I'm literally just created from me to further my lineage. Did I get to pick any DNA from somebody else, or is it literally just a clone of me? Because, if we could have, picked some DNA, that would have been better. Will you provide your suppose there really wouldn't be any point, though. I thought the magical orb would be fine. Doesn't it, like, they said that the magical orb would, like, create a child better. Do I have to, am I gonna die and then, like, leave everything to my child? Like, is it actually going to kill me in the story? And then be like, well, your kingdom did kind of make it. The crude camp you're taken to is a few days away. Your friends began searching around Tornassa for you as soon as they learned that the city had been taken by the demon horde. It's ironic that even though you lost the Battle of Tornassa, with all three dukes and Duchess Selena dead, you're still the sole ruler of Daria. Alexander Zuzak's unknown goals seem to have nothing to do with the kingdom. Tornassa is gone. Zuzak's demons have completely obliterated the capital city, leaving behind nothing but rubble. In addition, the demons destroyed all the small towns around it and have laid siege to the other major cities, including Lud, Brightwater, and Vernex. Even the Academy of Wizards is under attack and isolated from the rest of Daria. It's probably good that Nilk is there, since it's safer than most other places. You spend the winter in a small camp hidden in the Alderheart Forest. The remnants of your defeated army, about 50 people in total, remain with you. The rest of your army is still scattered across Daria. General Vale and Archmage Kumari are both dead. No word has reached your refugee camp concerning the fate of Lord Tovor, who was last seen in Lud. Nestalin Mubasher, the half-elf cleric, helped your friends to secure the camp. All of your other demi-human allies have returned to their homes to defend against the demon onslaught. A few days later, you find yourself doing some paperwork in the command tent. As the legitimate king of Daria, you have the power to restore titles. Although Petra never asked, you consider giving her title back. Well, let's legitimize it. The fact that you only command a refugee camp doesn't take away what you have the right to do. The evil path that her parents followed to try to regain their titles is still a barb in the common citizen's mind. You hope that the people of Daria will come to respect your decision and not see the bestowment as nepotism. Either way, Petra is very happy, not just because it returns her nobility, but also because it restores honor to her family's name. Citizen reputation minus 15, Petra relationship plus 15. Didn't I already have her at like 100 or something? Yeah, she was already at 100. I literally just lost citizen reputation. Seriously, went from 70 to 55 just for that. Like, they just assume that it's nepotism. Fuck off. Your Highness, a man says to you one day while you're walking through the camp. Bran is a few steps behind, having been stopped by a woman who had something urgent to ask him. The captain is often spoken to by members of the opposite sex. He is tall, athletic, and looks very dapper in his uniform. I know it's a lot of money, but consider it an investment. All I need is 500 gold, and I can reopen my bakery. People will want tarts and pies, I tell you. I'll be able to support myself and my family with an honest living. As soon as I can, I'll pay you back double. I swear it. Sorry I don't have any money to spare. Guards clear the street. This man couldn't have got time. The enemy needs a good cook. I can get you a job. I don't have 500 gold. All right, we can get you a job as a cook? No, thank you, Your Highness, the baker says. I'm a business owner. I'm not looking for work. I wish to open a bakery. Sorry, I don't have the money to spare. Thank you for your time, Your Highness, the baker says before leaving. War Council. We can't just sit here, Bran says from his chair a few days later. The tent where your friends have gathered isn't as nice as the command tent you used during your war campaign. Across the table lays a sprawling map of Daria. A few soldiers serve refreshments to you and your companions as you discuss the fate of the kingdom. We must wait out the demons, we must strike back, we must find out what Zuzak has been doing. I wouldn't, like, wait out the demons. I would regroup and then, like, talk about pushing back later. Rather than, like, we're going to wait them out, we're going to strike them back. We'd be like, we regroup, wait a little bit, and then strike back. I don't know. Well, we'll just say strike back. Yeah, let's hit them where it hurts, Theo agrees. Conversation erupts from all around the room, as everyone seems to have their own opinion on which location to attack first. Let's face it, Theo says. We have to go back to Vernex and face the consortium itself. His words stopped the babble of conversation. The last time he went to the complex, Theo and Jess were captured and put into Selena's dungeon for a year. It was there that Selena's poisons corrupted Jess's mind and turned her into the Red Wizard. Although you managed to bring her back to your side, the poisons are still threatening her life. Theo is right, Petra says with conviction. We must defeat the source, not the symptoms. We don't have enough soldiers to take back the city yet, Bran says, but we're gathering new survivors every day. We should send a small group to scout out the city before launching an attack. Very well, gather a dozen of our best soldiers. We will all go. I agree, a small group is better. I will take only my companions and leave the soldiers here. I'll be able to avoid trouble easier with less people. I will take only one person with me. I can travel faster by myself. I will go alone. We'll take my companions with. That sounds good. Conversation and shouting rise against your words. It's clear that they don't like the idea of sending the king himself into danger, but after a short debate they realize that your unique skills make you the best choice. A second round of shouting erupts when they find that your plan to bring Jess along too. Although she is still weak from the poison, she's healing quickly. The war council is adjourned. You walk back to your tent. The soldier standing guard over the cradle has his hand on the hilt of his sword when you enter. The baby has been quiet all night, the soldier reports before taking his leave and slipping out of your tent. It will be difficult to leave your baby boy, but it is necessary. If Zuzek and the demon threat are not destroyed, there will be no world for him to grow up in. The child was born only a month ago. The magical coating around the sphere had dissolved without any complications. The citizens of Daria had their heir to the throne. You named him Prince Ben II, Prince Brand after my father, Prince Amos after Amos, my father, something else. Fuck it, we'll go with Amos. It's an alright name. Amos coos and sucks his fingers. The small child has a grand future stretching before him. The legacies that you will pass on to him will shape not only his life, but all of Daria. You check on the little boy, baby Amos, before going to bed yourself. Several days later. The quartermaster scraped together as much money as he could find to help fund your mission. The extra gold coins jangle in your purse. 150 gold. How much do I have now? 225. Cool. Your group of friends scans the horizon for danger. My group, not Grump. Friend scans the horizon for danger as you ride Zephyr, your warhorse. Jess sits awkwardly in her saddle, her hands still trembling from the poisons in her system, but she's regaining her strength quickly. You leave the army camp and pass through the edge of Alderheart Forest without any difficulty. Being this close to Tornassa makes travel difficult to all the demons, due to all the demons wandering about. Take the road to Vernex, avoid the main roads, and travel through the trees. We'll travel through the trees. Your skill at traveling through the forest make the trip north much shorter, although it still takes longer than normal as you try to avoid the wandering demons. You aren't very far from Vernex when the sound of breaking tree branches gets your attention. The demon you encounter is the size and shape of an elephant, although it does have the dark leathery skin of its kind. Instead, it has many bright-colored crystal spikes sticking haphazardly out of it. These shining shards look razor-sharp and glitter in the afternoon sun. Petra crashes through the vegetation. The shining demon looks towards you and immediately charges. Attack the demon with my sword, attack the demon with my bow, cast the demon... we're going to cast a spell. Your spell covers the demon with flames, but when the fire subsides, you see that it has done little more than cause the gems to glow brightly. Screw it. We'll shoot him with the bow. The arrow bounces harmlessly off the gem-encrusted demon. As it continues, close the distance. Fuck, dodge out of the way. The sharp crystalline spikes cut open your skin. Your blood splashes on the forest floor. Need 70 agility. Health minus 35, down to 65. The demon skin twinkles with light of 1,000 gems as it turns towards you, ready to kill. Your friend stands at your side, ready to help. Let's cast a spell to freeze it. You complete your spell and watch as a great blast of white streaks forth from your fingertips. The demon's shiny skin turns frosty white as it freezes solid. Why didn't I fucking freeze it the first goddamn time? Strike the frozen demon with my sword. Try and leave the demon. Walk away alone. We'll strike it with my sword. The frozen demon shatters in 1,000 pieces as your sword strikes its frozen surface. The small pieces of gems are scattered all along the ground, even after the demon has returned to the demon realm to heal. Oh. You gather the pieces knowing they will be easy to sell. Gold plus 95. You avoid any other confrontations as you travel north. The trees get sparser, and there are less demons wandering around as you get further away from Tornassa. Several weeks later, you find yourself standing outside the same port you had waited a few years earlier. The island city of Vernex, which houses the consortium of planeswalkers, sits in the middle of the still lake. Mountains in the far distance. I don't know why I read after lake is a period, but whatever. The consortium chose a very defensible position since the only way into the city is by boat. The officials and guards speak to each person who tries to gain passage. The last time you came, you had a decent cover story. You had brought an unregistered demon stone and told the guards that you were selling it to the consortium. Unfortunately, this time you have no story at all. Your companions wait for you to choose which of them will be allowed to go with you. They know that they can't all go since it would draw too much attention. The others plan to set up camp outside the port city and be ready if you need them. Your companions all lean forward to see who you'll choose. Show stats. Who do I have the best relationship with? We'll choose Petra. Sure. I'm going to take Petra. Petra nods at your words. Petra relationship +3. You leave Zephyr in the camp with your friends before going to Vernex. You and Petra walk into the port city. The city of Vernex is considered to be both the city on the shore and the city on the island. But the high security of the consortium, the distinction between the two halves, is enough to mark them as separate places. You and Petra find an inn to stay in while you come up with a plan for gaining access to the compound. Buy many drinks to try to make friends, sit quietly, and listen to gossip. We'll listen to gossip. Everyone in the bar assumes that you and Petra are on a date. It helps with your cover since nobody pays you very much attention. The waitress continually comes by asking if you want anything. Sure, we'll buy some drinks and food. The innkeeper treats you like every other paying customer, which means that you're blending right in. It isn't long before you start overhearing the conversations around you. Most of the gossip is about High Chancellor Zuzak, of course. The fact that Tornaso was destroyed by demons and that all of the major cities are now under siege has the entire country talking. You hear a fantastical tale about a great flying city being constructed using the aid of thousands of flying demons, but you suspect that it is just a story. Nobody seems to have any idea as to why High Chancellor would unleash so many demons or what his goals are. You missed the last ferry, the innkeeper is explaining to a man at the bar. You'll have to get a room and go across tomorrow. The man is about your height and has many scars across his face and hands. From what you've heard, he's a student of the consortium who is returning after a terrible summoning accident. I'm not sure if my luck is good or bad, the man says softly. Tomorrow is the last day of my 5-year leave. Perhaps it would have been better to be 1 day later and not return at all. You watch as the innkeeper gives a sympathetic nod. The man goes up to his room after exchanging gold for a room key. Follow the man up, leave the inn, and wait until the common room is empty. We'll go talk to him, sure. Hey, guests only, the innkeeper yells at you. You want a room? Yes, please. How much? It's 100 gold, the innkeeper says, clearly overcharging you because it's so late at night. That's robbery. I'll give you 10 gold. You're a crook. I don't want your stinking room. Leave the inn. I'll give him 10 gold. The price is the price, the innkeeper says smugly. Needed 60 charm. Well, fuck off. The innkeeper's very busy, but he's also vigilant. The safety and privacy of his customers is very important to his reputation. Hey, get out of here, the innkeeper yells when he sees you trying to slip past. Need 70 stealth. Wow, I can't do fucking anything except cast spells. And I can't cast spells when I've got somebody anywhere near me. He calls for a pair of bouncers to throw you out of the inn. It was already very late, so it doesn't take long before the common room is empty and the indoors are locked up for the night. Pick the lock and enter, climb up the wall and enter a window, cast a spell to propel myself forward through the window above. Let's cast a spell! Ta-da! Look at that, I'm probably in. You are flying into the air through the window. Once you're safely inside, you go downstairs and open the door for Petra before returning to the upstairs hall. The rooms are numbered along each side of the hall. Unfortunately, you aren't certain which room the thing is. Can't I, cast a spell to, see who's in them? It's difficult to tell. Need a 60 perception. Well, fuck it. I guess I have to knock on random doors. You hear some cursing. You knock on the first door. When the door opens, you see a large hairy man with no clothes on. Behind him, you see someone hiding under the blankets in the bed. What? He says angrily, obviously eager to return to the bed and join the person under the covers. Sorry, wrong room, you reply. The man takes a swing at you. The solid fish smashes your chin, causes you to stagger backward. The man curses and slams the door in your face. Needed 70 charm, 70 unarmed, or 70 agility. Wow, I don't have shit for skills. It's like, attempt this, attempt this, attempt this. You fail every single fucking time. Oh, I can cast a spell now? Guess that works. You continue to check the doors, although none of the other patrons are as angry as the first man. Eventually you find the door you're looking for. The man stands at the door looking at you. You can see the deep scars across his face from where the demon tore him apart. A black consortium room bag hangs at his hip. He waits to see why you've knocked on his door. Say nicely, I need your entrance papers. Demand, give me your papers. Cast a spell to stun the man. Grab the man's hand before he can reach his room bag. Slash the man's throat with my dagger. Stab the man with my sword. We'll cast a spell to stun the man. The moment your spell begins, the man starts to reach for his demon stones. You realize that your spell won't complete in time. Petra's mace strikes the man in the side of the head, knocking him to the ground before he can summon any demons. You see blood pouring from the open skull, and you know that he is dead. You and Petra quickly enter the room and close the door behind you. Wow, for a religious person, she just straight up murdered that dude. You search the body, finding a room bag and a handful of papers. The papers are transcripts, tuition receipts, and class schedule for a student named Taro Cooperson. The man laying dead at your feet. You hang Taro's rune bag on your belt as part of your disguise. It feels strange to wear a rune bag again. You look back at the papers. The dates show that he took the full 5-year extended leave, and the last day for readmittance is tomorrow. This is your way in, Petra says. Hopefully, 5 years is long enough for nobody to remember what the real Taro looks like. Those scars across his face might help too. Spend the rest of the night in Taro's room, leave the inn, and spend the rest of the night hiding in an alley. We'll spend the night in Taro's room. You lay down in the bed and loosen your clothing before trying to get some rest. There are only a few hours of night left before dawn. The next morning finds you standing in line at the docks, waiting for your turn to speak to the guards. Although you considered finding another way onto the island, you know that in order to use the cover of Taro Cooperson, you need to follow the regular procedure to get in. You try to hide your wounds so that you don't gain any unwanted attention. The air is filled with the sounds of conversation, bird calls, and gently lapping waves. The lack of salt in the air seems strange after the time you spent living in Brightwater. You can see Petra in another line trying a different deception to gain entrance. You're pretending that you don't know each other so that if one of your ruses fail, it won't spoil the other's attempt. Name and reason for going to the consortium? The guard asks when you reach the front of the line. Tara Cooperson, I'm a student. Say rudely, I have papers. Let me cross. Say nothing and hand over my papers. Tara Cooperson, I'm a student. 5-year vacation, the guard says as he reads the papers and looks up at you. This is all in order. Just a matter of the toll, he says, looking at you suspiciously. Needed 50 health. He knows that you're interested in potting before continuing. You look like you ran into some trouble. I hope you keep your problems at Vernex. Toll is 700 gold. I'm sorry I don't have that much. Here you can have everything I've got. Look at what the other people are paying. I have some demon stones to sell. Come on, that's a little steep. Can't you lower that for me? Lean in quietly. Say, if you don't let me past, I'm going to feed you to my demons. Let's tell him I want to sell my demon stones. The guard snorts laughter. Demon stones are free these days. The consortium sends out wagons full of them. Not interested. Shit. What are the other people paying? Everyone seems to be paying a different amount. Unfortunately, people are paying so quickly that you can't tell what reasonable amount is. Needed 80 perception. I can't see shit. I might as well just be, like, blind, deaf, dumb, and take forever to cast spells, because that's honestly what this is at this point. Leaning quietly and say, are we going to be having trouble here? The guard says without batting an eye. Planeswalkers are all the same. Pay your damn toll and get on my site. Needed 3 levels in Thug. Wow, that's fucking great. He begins to raise an arm to call over some more guards. You realize that your entire cover will be blown if you don't cough up the coins. You grumble and step back. The guard smiles. He waits for you to pay him. Come on, that's a little steep. Can you lower that for me? Sorry, the price of the price. Wow, okay, so you literally get to enter the city with no fucking... God damn it. Another poor student just scraping by. The guard grumbles. You give the guard the 310 gold. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't even matter how much gold I fucking had. Blah, 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 follow the line. I can't just skip it all because I'm pissed off. This game is fucking stupid. I don't like these games. You follow the line forward and get onto one of the large ferries. As you wait for the boat to fill up, you see Petra still waiting in her own line. It seems that you won't be finding out if her story worked or not. The boat starts moving with a lurch, and you're soon crossing towards the main compound. Just another face in the crowd. After the ferry stops and you get off, you find yourself standing in the main courtyard. Passing guards look at your papers and directs you to the student dormitories. The administrator at the desk on the main floor reads them over. A class schedule is drafted for you, and then she gives you directions to your new room. It's almost too easy. It looks like nobody remembers Taro, and that his story is a common one. You take the schedule and go upstairs. When you arrive, you see a short, spiky-haired, we're going to go with girl. She looks young, but you suspect that it might be her slight frame and... What? Oh, she looks young, but you suspect that it might just be her slight frame and big eyes. She's surrounded by 3 others, all of whom are several feet taller. They have her backed into a corner, and you can see a tall, thin demon standing between them. The demon has dozens of whip-like arms, which are flailing about, stopping all the 3 taller people from getting any closer to the spiky-haired girl. The leader of the opposing group is a... Fuck it, we'll go with girl again. You're crazy, Poppy, the girl leading the other 2 says. You could get yourself expelled for summoning a demon against us. Just give us the demon stone. She's a stern-looking, stocky girl with a confident smile. Her dark hair is stylishly combed, and she's wearing expensive clothing. "It's my stone!" the spiky-haired girl shouts back from behind the flailing demon as she holds a demon stone away from the others. "So go away!" "Leave her alone. 3 against 1 isn't very sporting. Give them back the demon stone, you stole, thief." There's no proof that she stole it. We'll tell them, leave them alone. A knight in shining armor? The leader of the 3 says with a smile. Poppy relationship plus 20, and Cindy relationship minus 20. Alright. One of the thin demons whipping the arm flails out and slashes the leader across the face as she's distracted by your words. The cut across her cheek begins to bleed immediately. Everyone steps away from the flailing demon. The spiky-haired girl uses the distraction to run past them and leave the room. The demon vanishes as its master leaves. "You'll regret this," the leader of the group says before the trio exits out a different door, giving you dirty looks as they go. You find your room without any more drama and settle in. The class schedule tells you that Taro is in the last year of his program. You wonder if Petra had any luck getting across the lake. You know that your presence in Vernex is a big gamble, but you also know that you have to find out what Zuzak is planning, or you'll have no chance of stopping him. Go to class, find out where the students are hanging out. Sneak into the High Chancellor's private. Find out where the students are hanging out. There are several taverns on the island. Although there's no rule about it, the bars are all filled with summoners of the same general skill level. There's a tavern filled with ferry rowers, guards, and servants. There's another filled with first and second year students, all bright-eyed and eager. There's another filled with senior students, all trying to appear intelligent and knowledgeable. And there's another filled with administrators, tight-lipped and tired-looking. Although some of the others look interesting, your presence wouldn't be welcomed, since you've assumed the role of Taro Cooperson, a senior summoning student. Going with your best option, you head to the tavern filled with senior students. It looks much like any other tavern, with a bartender and patrons of all type. Sit down and have a few drinks. Gave up on my fucking gold. You literally have... I don't even know if that's even possible, but you would have to literally just go for gold the entire time, and maybe be a thug, too. That way the guy, actually lets you cross without paying him every single last piece of gold you have. You take a seat, and when the server comes by, you ask for water. You aren't sitting for long when you see the trio from the dorms arrive. They're laughing and talking as they take a seat at a nearby table. Walk over to the table and sit with them. Don't let them see me, but try to sit closer in order to overhear them speaking. Listen to all of the conversation taking place in the tavern. Talk to the bartender. Leave the tavern. I don't give a shit about those 3 people. As you leave the tavern, you hear the trio speaking loudly, like any other group of friends. "Cider, Marla?" says the leader of the group. "It's Graham's turn to pay. I'm having a dark ale." "I paid last time," Graham says. "I'm low on money, Cindy. I'll pay next week, promise." "That's what you said last week," Cindy says, making Marla laugh. Go to class, sneak into High Chancellor's private rooms, return to my room and go to sleep. Let's go to class. You consult your schedule and see that one of your classes has already begun. You have to ask for directions, but you eventually find the building where your lecture is taking place. A plain walker teacher stands at the front of the class talking to a group of about 10 people. You see the girl with spiky hair sitting at a table by herself. With no other spots open, you sit beside her. Hi, the girl says, speaking quickly without allowing you time to respond. "I'm Poppy. Hey, thanks for the help in the dorm. That was really nice of you. Graham's an idiot, and Cindy's a jerk. Think we get a grade A stone today?" "Enough chatter, Poppy," the teacher says before you can answer any of the many questions that the hyper girl throws at you. "I see that Tara Cooperson has returned," the teacher says, looking down at the paper on her desk. "My name is Mrs. Porter. Yes, please take the seat next to Poppy. I'm told that you were away for 5 years. You really cut your return close. Welcome back." It's clear to you that Miss Porter doesn't know the real Taro. Listen to the lecture, quietly ask Poppy, why were those people accusing you of stealing a demon stone? I don't give a shit about the lecture. "Just a misunderstanding. Graham paid me to get him a stone, since he's an idiot and going to fail his final assignment. The stone I found wasn't for him, it's mine, and I'm keeping it. I'll get him a stupid stone still, but not that one." Mrs. Porter places her hand on the desk and stops talking. You see what looks to be an enormous demon stone sitting on the floor beside her. It's the size of an anvil and looks just as heavy. Like other demon stones, it's glowing softly and covered in Somreth writing. The students all stand up and begin walking towards the front of the class. You join them and stand beside Poppy as Miss Porter places 2 hands on a large stone. Here we go. I'm inserting us into the coordinates we discussed in yesterday's class. Good luck. The students all place their hands on the large demon stone. Miss Porter inclines her head toward the stone for you to do so as well. When you do, there's a great flash of light, and then you find yourselves elsewhere. The demon realm. Oh, am I recruiting demons now? Because it said you find yourself elsewhere, so I'm guessing that's going to be part of my army that I'm... No, because that was something that we did before. Well,